Last Wednesday in Istanbul was a magical night for Villa fans around the world. The lads obviously brought home the trophy, and Aston Villa are winners on the continent again for the first time in over 40 years. But whilst fans like myself are celebrating, and will be throughout the summer, Unai Emery will already be staring at a blank whiteboard ahead of the transfer window opening next month. To survive and thrive in next season's Champions League and Premier League, this squad is going to need some major overhaul. Some legends may have to go, some prospects clearly aren't ready, and some players just simply aren't at the level to compete with Europe's elite. I've gone through the entire 2026 squad list, and let me be clear here, I've been very ruthless, from the starting 11 to fringe players. I'm deciding, for me, who exactly should be in next season's thinking, who we should sell to get rid of, the financial obligations in our way. And yeah, there's going to be some controversy. If you disagree with anything I say, get in the comments, let me know. Sorry that it took so long to get a video out. I am so hot right now. It is just, the heat wave here is just brutal. But yeah, agree, disagree, get you in the comments. Even if you never comment on a video, leave your opinion. That's what we do here. And yeah, enjoy. First up, Emi Martinez, I would keep. Now look, I adore Emi Martinez. Let's get that straight. I think he's a club legend. Is he as good as he was, say, 4 years ago? I don't think so. I think we see more mistakes from him now than we used to, but that's just me. I think the stats would back that up, though. Do I think he's going to be lined up for us in the Super Cup or the first game of the season? No, I don't, to be honest. Do I think he'll leave now? Yeah. But, look, if it was up to me, I'd keep him. Unfortunately, I just don't see it. I think he was going to leave last summer. Obviously, never happened. Yeah, I'd keep. Do I think he'll be here next summer? No. Marco Bizzo, keep. Now, I'd absolutely keep Marco. Bar a few select errors, Bizzo has been absolutely everything you want from a second keeper. He's got big saves in him, he's solid, and he always stepped up whenever Emi had those weird injuries before Europa League games, in the early part of the season. And I remember whenever Olsen would step up in previous games, last season or the season before, I'd have that dread come over me, we'd already lost. But yeah, I think Bizzo's solid. I think he's happy to play second fiddle, and yeah, he's just the ultimate number 2 goalkeeper that you want, just causing no problems. Keep, 100%. Matty Cash, keep. Yeah, I'd keep Cash. I think he's probably had the best season in a Villa shirt this year that he's had since he signed with the club. I just think he's really solid. I think he can still struggle with really tricky wingers and top-class wingers like Doku, for example. But overall, he's about as solid as it's going to get without splashing a fortune on a right-back, which we obviously can't do it this summer. Probably won't be doing in the future either. But I'd love to see him bomb on more rather than doing that cutback that he loves to do. But by now, I think that must be a tactical thing that Emery's telling him to do. But yeah, I'd keep Cash. I think he's had his best season in the Villa shirt so far. Victor Lindelof, I would keep. If I filmed this maybe 3 weeks ago, I would have said that I don't really care if he stayed or go. But look, if we look at the whole season, I think he's been solid when called upon, On a free as well, was smart business. We're very good in the free market window, as many people have seen in recent years. But yeah, his awakening, if you like, has been ever since Emery started him alongside Tielemans to replace Kamara. You think about how good he was against Liverpool, Forest and Freiburg. Our Kamara replacement was right there, and we had no idea. He was there the whole time. So for me, Lindelof stays. Would he have stayed 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? Maybe not. Ezri Konsa, keep at all costs. Any Villa fans watching this would have seen this coming a while ago. The bloke's an absolute Rolls Royce for us. I almost felt proud watching him on Wednesday against Freiburg because he's just come so far. He's developed from being a very shaky youngster to being, in my opinion, one of the best centre-halves in the country. I think he should 100% be starting next to Gahey in the World Cup. But yeah, his letter to the fans, I don't know if any of you read it, was unbelievable as well. Keep at all costs, get a new contract signed. Absolutely keep. For Tyrone Mings, I would sell. This one sucks and hurts, and let's be honest, it's been coming. It has been coming. He will forever be massively appreciated for the fact he got us promoted, then got us to the Europa League, even Champions League football, and he'll never be forgotten. An absolute club legend in my eyes, and he should never have to buy a pint in a pub where a Villa fan is sitting. It's simple as that. But this season, man, it's just not been good enough. It's just the level has dropped somewhat, if that makes sense. He's been very lacklustre on the ball, and if you compare Digne and Matsson's ratings playing next to him, compared to when they play next to Pau, it's extremely telling. We'll always love and appreciate Tyrone Mings for what he's done for Villa legend, but I think it is time to go now. Luca Dean, I'd keep. Pau Torres, keep at all costs. You keep. You don't let this guy go. We're a much better team when Pau's playing. Rather than his actual defending per se, it's more just how calm and relaxed he is on the ball. I think we really notice it when either him or Watkins don't start or don't play. We just become so one-dimensional. And whilst Konsa's great with his feet as well, don't get me wrong, he's a great all-round player, Konsa. I'm pretty sure Pau could play defensive midfield if he wanted to quite comfortably. He's just so calm on the ball. Have to keep him. He unlocks so much of our attack going forward. He can play a ball into Digne, he can play a ball into Watkins. keep Powell every day. Garcia, I would loan. I actually liked what I'd seen from Garcia prior to the City game, but I guess everybody was on the beach for that anyway. He just hasn't played much at all. I think there could be a player in there. I would love to see him loaned out onto the continent maybe, or maybe be back into the Championship to build up his toughness and, climb it into the English game, because he just had no minutes. He can't get used to English football. But yeah, I think there could be something there. We haven't bought him for no reason, so yeah, I'd give him a loan. For Ian Maatsen, I would sell. Okay, so this might be the most controversial one for some so far, but for me, Ian Maatsen has failed his audition. When we signed him, I fully expected him to kind of, within time, rip that shirt off Digne. He should be the starting left-back for the next 5 to 6 years. And, he was so impressive at Burnley under Vincent Kompany. I didn't see much of him at Dortmund. I'm not going to sit here and act like I did. But from all accounts, I heard he was really good. He got to a Champions League final. But I've just been so underwhelmed. His recovery pace is poor. His decision-making has been poor. I went to Burnley away. He got absolutely ripped by their winger, who I've never heard of before. I just don't think he's good enough. Time to recoup some money for him while we can. That's how I look at it, but you might disagree. For Ross Barkley, I'd keep. And I was very split on this one. Very split. I changed it twice, actually. But Barkley's done okay. Whenever he's come off the bench, he's done okay. He's not been great when starting. I wouldn't want to start him, but to come on and settle the game down, I think he's been ideal. He did a great job doing that against Liverpool in our last home game of the season. But as a depth player, I can't imagine he's on that much money. We're not going to get him, we're not going to sell him for loads. I'd keep him around. John McGinn, keep at all costs. Do I even need to say much here? Not only is the bloke a club legend in my opinion, but it could be time for a statue. It could be time for statue talks. He's still one of our most important players in our team. He's got such a unique player in general. He can shoot. He can play a beautiful pass. His strength is just ridiculous. We all see how he gets his ass out and, blocks off the ball. Unbelievable. I love the bloke. Villa fans love the bloke. Keep him around at all costs. Yuri Tielemans, also keep around at all costs. Yeah, Yuri slots straight into that untouchable category for me. The bloke has just been so good for us since signing, and he seems to get better every year. It looks like great business in the free market again, which again, like I said earlier, we've proved that we're very good in the free market. It just goes to show, when him and McGinn were injured, we dropped levels so badly. We won't be forgetting that goal anytime soon either. Emi Buendia, keep. Now you talk about a comeback story, by the way. Emi's career at Villa was done, but he's managed to drag himself up from the depths of hell, really. He's been such an important player for us this season. He stepped up in huge moments. And yeah, now he finishes the goal. He actually finishes the season with 17 goal contributions. And, I think he can be guilty of when he's having a bad game. He has a really bad game, if that makes sense. But look, that goal in the Europa League final, man. I'd keep him alone just for that. Amadou Onana, I'd keep. To put it simply, Aston Villa are a better team when Onana plays. It's simple as that. My only slight concern with him is his injury record and how many people have pointed out now when the going gets tough, Onana does get going. But yeah, look, great player, really good player. I think we slightly overpaid for him, but I'd keep him around for the foreseeable. Just hope he can keep, fit for the majority of the season next year. That'd be huge for us. Because when he is good, he's great. Lamar Bogard, I would sell. Another controversial one. I'd probably say Bogard is going to be one of the more polarising players in our squad in terms of sell or keep. I actually think he's had a handful of really good games this year, actually. I think Lille at home, he was really good. But my God, he's just so nervous on the ball. He's okay against the better teams when we're chasing the game and we want to have someone in the middle causing problems and breaking down play. But when we're playing against a team that's comfortable, sitting back and we keep possession, he's just like a bag of nerves. Like, you give him the ball, he just doesn't want the football, ever. Is that going to improve now, going into his early to mid-20s? I don't know. I think it might be time to go for Bogard. Morgan Rogers, I'd keep. Would I keep Morgan Rogers at Aston Villa? Yeah. Would I want him starting in August? Yeah. Do I think that would be the case? Absolutely not. I don't need to stand there and waffle about how great Rogers is because we all know his quality. Has he been a bit quiet since January? Yeah, sure he has. But the bloke can single-handedly win you 3 points in the Premier League. At home to United, away at Leeds. I feel a lot more comfortable with our top players moving on now because we've won that trophy. If it wasn't down to financial restrictions, I'd say keep him, but I don't think we're going to have a choice. And with all the transfer rumours already kicking off, it looks like he's going to be on his way. But yeah, I'd keep him. Will we keep him? Probably not. Leon Bailey, Sal. I really wanted it to work for Leon Bailey. I really did. And he did have spells at the club. He did have spells where you thought, okay, I see the value. I see where the Bailey that we signed for £30 million or whatever it was. But he's just not good enough for this level anymore. I mean, the loan record has been nothing short of disastrous. So for Leon Bailey, it's been a pleasure. He got the trophy. He'll always be remembered for being part of that team, but it's time to go. Boubacar Kamara, keep at all costs. I will die on the hill that this bloke is the best defensive midfielder in the league besides maybe Rodri. And the fact that we got him on a free is just absolutely ludicrous stuff, really. He's press-proof, he's calm, he just calms the play down every single time. He can take it off Martinez and ping it out wide. It is a shame that he gets a big injury every single year, but I think that kind of might be a blessing in disguise because none of the big boys are ever sniffing around Kamara. And maybe that's why. Maybe they see his injury record and they're just not having him. So, hey, I'd keep him. Alisson, I would keep. Look, I haven't seen enough of the lad to have an opinion on him. I'm just going to be honest right now. I'm not going to act like some expert. But by all accounts, he's looked direct whenever he has played. And look, he's had a bad injury. Simple as that. We don't know how good the kid is, but we've obviously signed him for a reason. And that Ryan at Bournemouth, that Brazilian lad who just made the World Cup squad, he's a prime example of how these young Brazilian lads are more than capable of hitting the ground running. So, and next season we'll see what he's all about. But look, at the moment, he just didn't get enough minutes for me to make a decision. I keep him around. Let's see what he's got next season. Ollie Watkins, keep. Look, we're in club legend territory for Watkins, aren't we? 92 Prem goals. He'll hit 100 next season. And he just came into form this year at the right time, you know. He's such a patchy player at times. Such a patchy player. But nobody can deny he's been fantastic for us since we came back into the Prem. When he's confident, he is one of the best strikers in the league. I truly believe that. Yeah. Just peaked right at the best time this season. Yeah. Keep all day. Keep. Of course it's keep. And finally, Tammy Abraham, I would keep. Tammy hasn't had that many opportunities since he came back and signed in January, but I think as far as backup strikers go, he's probably as good as we're going to get in that position. His career was fading out and we kind of gave him that chance to be at the top level again. And look, he scored important goals. He scored against Leeds to get an equaliser, scored against Sunderland, the winner. And without those 4 points, look where we'd be now, with how tight the league ended up being. So, yeah, I'd keep him for backup to Watkins. It's probably worth me mentioning as well that I would send all the loans back, like Elliott, Dougie, Sancho. I would make none of them permanent. So, I just want to get that out there now. But yeah, thanks for watching the video, guys. Apologies for sweating my balls off here. I am so hot. It's been a heat wave in the UK. If you're watching this from the UK, you'll know all about it. But yeah, agree, disagree with me. Comment below. Tell me your opinion. Lots of World Cup content on the way next month. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching and like and subscribe.